Saudi tourism is going natural. So if we want to stick with my love for nature, the kingdom is eyeing the development of an area the size of Austria. I love how we like, I don't know how big Austria is.
Wait, you were just in Austria, right? That you were just there.
I was, but like, I don't know what the size of Austria is. So I love this headline, but I mean,
I don't know how
anyway.
big it is either. Is it big? How big is it? I have no idea. Like, what are we talking about? Yeah.
What state is it equivalent to is
Wait, sorry,
usually,
before you
right?
go on, have you seen those maps that like show the world as it actually is? It's not
Yeah.
like, yeah. So I
Yeah.
haven't
The
really paid a
United
lot of
States is
attention.
not the biggest
Oh, come on, it totally
country.
is.
Anyway, so this
Anyway,
is, obviously a new development for tourism. It's a push outside of the cities and highlight Saudi's natural landscape and cooler climates. So there are several of these new kind of destinations across the kingdom, but we're highlighting Assir today, which was featured in a longer form piece in Bloomberg and syndicated elsewhere. So Assir, for those of you who don't know, is in the southwest in the mountains. It is a beautiful, beautiful part of the country. There are some really interesting parts of Asir, like Rijal Alma, which is this very cool village that is like kind of built on hills. I think there's a quote here. One of hundreds of archaeological villages dotting the little touristed province of Asir, an area almost the size of Austria in Saudi Arabia's southwestern corner. The region, which boasts a rich cultural heritage, has dramatically cited mud palaces with mountain views, desert plains, and unspoiled beaches, plus historical sites and outdoor adventure activities that are unrivaled throughout the country. Best of all for Saudis who are accustomed to very hot weather, right? So this is one of the quotes from the article. I actually recently interviewed the acting CEO of the ICIC Development Authority, Hashim Tabbakh, sorry, on Los Voices last year, and it was a super interesting discussion, just talking about empowering the local kind of community to really step up and think more entrepreneurially about the tourism and hospitality sector because it's such an incredible corner of the kingdom. So there are no luxury establishments to speak of just yet, but Asir draws fewer than 100,000 international travelers each year, which is quite a low number. But the article is worth a read, I would say, and I think it's important to just really understand kind of that, again, like going back to the deep dive, the vision isn't just about big cities, but it's really about enabling kind of local culture to shine and for people to be able to experience that. It's one part of the kingdom that I have not been to. And I have asked my family if they would indulge me and go to Asir multiple times. And every time I get a So I think I'm going to need to like work this into my own, I'm just going to have to go on my own to Asir,
yeah,
I
you got it.
think.
Well, I think if you're like I'm going, I think everybody will kind of pile into the airplane. I don't know, but maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, I did an on-stage interview with Fahad bin Mushtayt, Mushtait, State, whatever. I'm sure I'm butchering it, but he is CEO of SFAR, which is a PIF company, and they're helping to develop, some of these areas in Assir. It's really interesting to hear him talk because his sort of attitude is like, we've made the identification of these areas as being really good for tourism. We want to help kind of engender, or develop some infrastructure and some projects there and help finance in part. But these are really good projects for foreign investors. And you're seeing that, and that article is really good. The long form is kind of worth a read, and it does talk about the private investors that are coming in from Spain and the United States, elsewhere, to develop resorts there because the weather is so awesome. I mean, part of the idea here too is to prevent Saudis like Dr. Hannah Al Moabed from vacationing in Seattle or Europe, and instead go local with their tourism because it's much cooler there. For the record, thank you, ChatGPT 5. Austria is about as big as South Carolina, a little bit smaller than Maine, a little bit smaller than Virginia, and then it's about the size of this is so useless. Czech Republic, Portugal, the UAE. Oh, there you go. Panama, and Serbia. So if you know how big any of those things are, then there you go. That's
I think that the UAE is useful for me just because again, like being from that part of the world, like that makes more sense. I was in Austria. This is true. Maybe I should have looked at like the area of Austria when I went there, but I didn't do that.
you were too
So
busy on your Sound of Music tour. But that's okay. Priorities such as they are, you're going to tell that story another time.
no, I think that story, I think that's a story for never being told again.
Well, much like Austria and Assir, the hills are alive with the sound of tourism.